welcome to yet another episode of Sunny Side Up. This is a special episode. It is with this bunch of kids whom I have seen grow from toddlers to teenagers in front of my eyes. Everyone who knows me is aware of my fondness for kids. I love spending time with children. They give me hope, a lot of energy, and always have a unique perspective. So, back to this bunch on today's episode. I have been meeting with their parents fairly regularly, and I came to know that one of the children has published a book during the lockdown. Yes, already published a book. And that got me curious. I wanted to touch base with this Gen Z and see what's up with them these days. In fact, some of them in this group can also be called the Alpha generation. I wanted to find out how are they doing, what's going on in their mind. And oh man, I had a blast interacting with them. In fact, so much so that I had to split my conversation with them in two episodes. So let's get right into episode 1.
Very warm welcome, bachon. So happy to see all of you. I know I remember seeing you like really young, and today you all are so grown up, so beautiful, so graceful. So happy to see you all. Gia, you were when 3-4 months old, and I used to hold you in my lap. And I think Arab ki Mundan ceremony pe main aayi thi. So I have a lot of memories of you kids. But any of you want to share what you remember about me, your memories of me?
I would like to start. I have a very vivid memory of you. So I think it was one of the BD family days where we were supposed to go to Chaukidhani or somewhere in Delhi. And we had gathered everybody, all the kids and all the parents at our place here in Gurgaon. Mm-hmm. And we had actually tried to create something, a small performance for everybody there. Mm-hmm. And you were in charge of, trying to choreograph something and trying to compose something. So I guess that was one of the most fun experiences I've had with you.
Okay, wow, thank you so much. Anyone else?
I don't have any very vivid memories. I was too young. But I've known you for the longest, I think, out of all of us, because on all the BD trips, more like my parents told me I used to hang out with you and no one else. So otherwise I don't remember anything.
You, Arav?
So for me, again, like Kanega, like that part of my life in general is very like fuzzy and I don't remember many things. But, for you, I think you were like a very like recurring part during that like time of my life. Like, achha, that was when I knew Sunita auntie. That's what I associate that part with. So I just like, I have like fond memories of you. जो हमारी जो house parties होती थी, like we were there, like that is what stuck with me. So yeah, overall it's finally nice to get in touch again.
Yeah,
after so long.
Hey Nirja,
I don't really remember anything because I don't think I was born yet, but I remember that you were a very sweet auntie and you.
So sweet. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. So to hear that you guys remember me, that itself is fantastic. Yeah, because great. So thank you so much, guys, for joining me. I just impromptu. It's going to be a very candid conversation. I have this channel called Sunny Side Up. And so I've just started this YouTubing. I'm sure you all know more about YouTube than me, but I've been meeting with really senior people, my age group mostly in my channel. But I thought maybe let me meet with this young bunch of kids that I know that I've seen growing up, and maybe learn something from you all. So let's kickstart the session, and let's start with you all introducing yourselves to my audience. So maybe your name, your age, what class you're in, which city you are right now, and most importantly, a fun fact about yourself. So so any of you can start, or if you say I can go screen wise, and maybe I'll call out name and then you can start. Does that sound fine? Yeah, sounds good. Okay, so Suhani is on the lowest of my screen, so I'll start with Suhani.
Suhani, I'm in grade 6 and I'm in Gurgaon right now, and I like to play the piano. I like music.
Wow.
And sports.
Okay, great. Moving on, let me move to the left of my screen and I'll come to Hetvi now.
Okay, I am Hetvi. I will be going to grade 12. I'm currently in Gurgaon, and a fun fact about me, I mean, this bunch knows me so well. So something which they don't know would be that I have a really good knack at comedy and I can mimic them sometimes. So I do that in secret when they are not there.
We
So,
know. Very,
brilliant.
very interesting.
We know.
So
We know.
Hi, my name is Pranav. I'm 14, and a fun fact about me is that I can edit videos.
Okay, great. So, let me move on to Anika now.
Okay, so my name is Anika. I'll be 17 in August, so I'm already in 12th grade. I'm living in Gurgaon right now. We shifted last year. And the fun fact, I mean, I can't think of something they don't know. I can say that originally I was actually named Gia on my birth certificate. Then they switched to Anika when I went to school. So
And what about this switch? Do you like your name Anika, or would you have been
I
happy?
like both because in my house I know many relatives who don't even know me as Anika. So Gia, Anika, I respond to both.
Both. Okay, yeah. Even I remember you as Gia, and then suddenly one day your mother started calling you Anika, and I was like, no, Anika, I want to still continue calling you Gia because Gia is like so close to my heart, you know. And moving on to Arab now.
All right. I'm Arav. I'm 17. I will be going to 12th grade. And currently I'm in Bangalore. Fun fact about me, again, we're all very close. So like, I don't really have anything to share with the rest of them, but maybe to share with you is that I have a very keen interest in like language and linguistics. And that's something that I do like in my free time. Is I research that a lot and I bothered everybody with it because none of them are interested, but I still go proud look part of is nodding. Right. So
Great. Yeah. Thank you, Arab. Okay, moving on to the second row in my screen. So I'll move on to Nirja.
Hi everyone. Hi Auntie. I'm Neerja. I'm 15 years old. And a fun fact about me is that I had this really lucky opportunity in the pandemic to get a dog. And I've always wanted a dog. And I've like my sister and I adopted one recently, and he just turned 2 years old. His name is Coco. And it was like this really luck by chance opportunity because we were not planning on getting one. I mean, they know because the second we got them, we video called them and we were like, I got a dog. And, like it was out of nowhere. So yeah, that's the most recent fun fact. And a more recent one is this interview, and I'm really excited to do it. So thank you, Auntie.
Great. Thank you so much, Nirja. And Suhani, do you remember something? A fun fact that you can share with us now?
Yes, Auntie. So I really like learning new things. So I'm learning like a new piece for piano, and also I have this. I really like K-pop, so I'm trying to learn Korean.
Wow.
So I know how to read it, and I know like words. So
okay, so who's your favorite K-pop band?
BTS.
BTS, yeah, I know. They are, and I've heard that they're coming to India. Are you guys aware that they've started that they have this plan for their world tour, and they do have plans to come to India?
Yeah.
Yeah, looking
surprising. Despite what's surprising, despite the fact that they are an Asian band, they will go everywhere in US, UK first.
But never
and
They always do that.
Like all the population density is over here, right? But they will have 50 different tours in 50 different states in New York, which is like one third. Most of the fan base is here, and they will like go out of their way for like not even 3/4 of those people. So
and now people know that India is the biggest fan base, and your generation is like, I know that my daughter, my help in the house, she only watches K-pop, by the way. She's only watching K series, all Korean dramas, and she makes me also watch with her. So penetration is so deep now that everybody in India is now watching Chinese and Japanese anime, and these Korean soaps. So I will come to that question, wherein I'm going to ask you all, what is it that you're watching these days? Who's your favorite start. But before that, maybe I want to ask all of you, these last 2 years of COVID, right? They were game changer in terms of making us go through a lot of changes, right? We have adapted or so many new things, unimaginable things, like not going to school and clearing our exams, also having our graduation ceremonies on Zoom, and which were all unthinkable things in the past. So maybe I want to ask you guys to share your experience of COVID, any learnings, maybe one learning each, different from the other who's sharing. Sounds good?
Sure, go ahead.
It's
Go
a
ahead.
good, it's a
Okay,
good.
Nirja, let's start with Nirja.
Yeah.
All right. So I think it was actually a good time to take some 2 years. I think 2 years was really long, and a lot of people would disagree. But at least some time of, I think it was like a detox moment where we would just, get away from all the things that were happening in our lives at that point, and like apart from school and studies and everything, and we would just get into what we actually wanted to do. So I saw that a lot of people our age, young people, actually got into what they really wanted to do for a really long time, because they finally got the chance. So many people started cooking clubs, many people started writing books, some people started YouTube channels for music, and it was just very nice to see young people find the time to find their youth again, and not just get trapped in the whole generic system of trying to get into education. I mean, that's important too, but a little bit of time off was definitely needed.
And I know that you actually utilized the COVID the best, Nirja, when you worked on your book and published it, etc. Right? That also happened for you during COVID.
Yeah, that happened towards the end of COVID, but yes, during the pandemic.
Wow, great. Okay, so should I move on to Arav now?
Um, yeah, all right, sure. So for me, like, I don't have that much of a fond experience with this pandemic, right? Because what I realized, because towards the beginning, of course, matlab, pehle to acha lagta, like, oh, you're inside, you don't have, like, nobody can bother you. And the thing is, I always considered myself somewhat of an introvert. But I think over this pandemic, I realized that that's really not true. It's not that I'm introverted, it's just that I just missed out on a lot of social experiences. And for me, like, I've always been a little socially awkward and, sort of clumsy in public. But then I realized that over like these 2 years, like when the pandemic ended, I had sort of this boost in my social experience. I used to like actively seek out other people. And I just like, I just thought to myself that, had the pandemic not been there, I would have gained these experiences much earlier. And, maybe I would have been in a better place, because I feel like it's also an aspect of, like for us, it happened in a very sensitive place, like for my age group, because we're heading off to college in a year, right? So for your 10th 11th to happen, like 10th 11th is a very very formative time, right? And for that to be entirely online, at least for me, although I had a lot of time myself, and it did feel nice on a superficial level, somewhere I feel like it, like we missed out on a bunch of experiences that I would have liked to have, like I would.
Great. Yeah. Moving on to Anika.
Okay, so I did not have much of a pleasant experience because I know COVID was different for everyone. Some people were really productive, some people actually found new interests, and some people like me, we kind of just got secluded too much. It was so different because before that, there was a lot of pressure from school. We just entered high school. We just entered high school, so there was a lot of study pressure, and I was actually going out a lot. I was an extrovert, but then I don't know, something changed. You take a back seat when it was COVID because lockdown and all. You didn't see anyone. You didn't get out of your house. So I think I secluded myself too much. I stopped out. I kind of interacted less, and it was kind of a dark time because I didn't know what was happening. I like got distracted from studies. It wasn't very much productive. So those 2 years have been very challenging for me. And now that school has opened and suddenly it's the last year of school, so now you have to do everything while adjusting to the new shift in environment. So I'm just trying to like get back to my old self, just before college at least.
Okay. Let's hear what Hetvi has to say
So
about.
I think I would it was a little bit of everything that everybody said. Secluded 100%. Me being such a social animal, it was very hard for me to stay inside. My parents literally had to pull me back from going outside, especially during times when you have moments in your life when you really need people, and at that point of time when it becomes virtual, you suddenly feel that you suddenly value people more than you actually did, and you value the time that you're spending. So that is actually what happened, and it happened with close family members. We don't I felt we don't really value the time that we are getting with them, and suddenly when we have a year left, we are like, okay, so now I really have to start spending more time with Dadi and her stories. So that is what is happening, and I guess that realization at any point is, it's great. It just teaches you that everything and everybody around you are really, really important at some point. And I guess COVID was quite positive also in a way, I would say, because you could do unimaginable things, I feel, moving on to a virtual platform. And in fact, I had an amazing opportunity of participating in a Guinness attempt for a dance item. So I was able to do that virtually, and it was an amazing experience, because just having people from various other countries on a single platform performing, it was amazing. So I think it has a flip side too. So yes.
Okay, great. Thanks, Hetvi. Moving on to Pranav. What was your experience like?
So mine wasn't as that bad actually. It was really fun for me because I was just in seventh grade. I was going to eighth grade. I had nothing to do. I didn't study at all. I was just chilling with my friends. I was playing video games all the time. I think the real problem happened when COVID ended because I wasn't studying the whole year, and when I came into ninth grade, I had to get more serious because I was really low in my grades. So all of the negative things happened because I took COVID, I think, a little bit too positively, and not even in like a productive way. So after it ended, it just kind of all collapsed on top of me.
Okay. That's a little different experience. We are left with Suhani, so maybe let's hear what Suhani's experience was.
Yeah, so I was in third when COVID started. So I didn't really know what COVID was. I just finished my final exams for third. So when in COVID, I didn't know what it was. So I was kind of sad, like we won't be able to go to school and everything. And I was also kind of sad that when I reached middle school, we won't have night camp where you get to stay in school for like the entire day with your friends and even at night. And then you go home at like 5 o'clock in the morning. But it was also really fun because I got to redecorate my room finally. And yeah, and we also participated in a band contest with our cousins.
Great experiences, guys. And nice to know that it was varied for all of you. And yeah, and also in some senses, it was similar also. Yeah, even we adults had this feeling of seclusion, then suddenly realizing the value of the family, and spending time with them, and yeah, a bit of uncertainty, fear of the unknown as to what is happening. Obviously, we also had to adapt to new ways of working. We were working from home. To suddenly cooker ka city became very important, which was never a case, right? But yeah, when Zoom classes were happening or when Zoom meetings were happening, you realize that you have to stay quiet and you need your little corner. And I think all of us then made our own little safe corners to take our classes or our meetings from, right? So all that was a change for all of us. But okay, so yeah, we now have COVID behind us, and we all are looking forward to a different, a better future. So maybe this is the time I should ask all of you, what is it that you want to pursue as a career? What is it that you guys are now aspiring to become? So maybe I'll start with, let me start with Anika.
Okay. So it took me a long time to decide what I want to do. I'm still not sure. I've just been very indecisive all my life. So I just picked the subjects I liked. I really love maths. And I recently realized I'm also very interested in biology. But I want to biology is like, okay, so in biology, what interested me was biotech and bioinformatics and all. But it's too niche a career option to pursue in college. So right now I've opted for computer science, and I'll most probably pair it with bio some way because I like both the subjects a lot. So that's what I think I'll be doing.
Okay, great. And how about you, Nirja?
So even I've been deciding for a very long time. But I know the direction in which I'm headed is going to be somewhere with a base in technology. And after that, just build up on my own like ideas. I definitely want to try out having my own enterprise before I can, start anything else. So I want to try out what I can do through just a startup before trying to get a job or anything like that.
Okay, wow. Now that's again a unique career objective. So all the best, Nirja. Let's move on to Arav.
All
What
right.
are your
So
plans?
for me, I'm pretty sure about what I want to pursue, and that is I want to go into design, right? Because I feel like from what I've seen of the field, what I've heard of other people, it's a field in which I feel like I can excel in, because like the truth is that you can't really love your job ever, because if you like, no matter how much you're interested in that subject or interested in that work, if you do something again and again, it becomes a chore. Like that's just how people are wired. I feel like, at least that's how I'm wired, is that if I do something again and again, I become a chore. So for me, it's about finding something that I can excel at, that I can do well in, and then move on to what I actually want to pursue myself. So design, within design, I'm thinking of doing graphic design, working for companies, making logos, typefaces, that kind of thing. And eventually when I get like, when I'm on like when I have some like some feet to stand on, and I have like I'm a little bit more secure, I want to pursue something about storytelling through design, maybe animation, something like that, because I am very passionate about storytelling. It's that I feel like I want to give back to the community in some way, because many other people don't feel this way, and often they tell me that it's, you should focus on yourself, but I feel like it's my responsibility to give back to my community, and like, I do owe something to the community that's helped me reach this point.
Wow. Okay, that's again a very very unique and different combination of objectives. You want to give it back to the society. You also want to do something in visual arts, and yeah, so unique goal again. Great. Moving on to Hitvi.
So I mean, I would agree with Arav on the fact that the goal has always been to create a change, to make a difference in the community via your actions, via your knowledge that you have. So I feel I have always been inclined to the biological sciences, life sciences, and healthcare, especially after the pandemic. I've realized that that is somewhere which. At any point you can create that kind of change that you want to if you're in some part of healthcare. So public health, and maybe amalgamating with, I have a huge passion of writing as well. So somewhere between amalgamating these two interests, I would want to do something which can again give back to the community and make a difference.
Wow. Yeah, this is again, so different from all four career objectives. So yeah, that's a great, Hitvi. Wow. Okay, moving on. Pranav, side.
So I'm in 10th grade and I have some idea of where to go. I'm not exactly sure. If I had to choose something right now,
Mhm.
then maybe I would go for something in marketing, because that just seems the easiest to me right now.
Mhm.
Uh, Out of like studies, of course, like if I have to do something in school, I might go for biology. Maybe no doctor. I'm not becoming a doctor.
Mhm.
Uh, and yeah, I guess that's it. I'm not really sure about what I'm going to do right now because I'm still very young.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, that's also an outlook. Yeah, so good. Yeah, moving on to Suhani now.
Yeah, so I might want to be in a music group with like 4 or 5 people.
Wow.
Yeah,
Your own like a music group, or like
like a band. Like, yeah.
wow. Great. Yeah. So, connected to this question, I also my next question is coming. As I was mentioning that 10 years ago, if someone told me that I could watch news at my convenience whenever I wanted, that was unimaginable. Or something like what pandemic taught us, that you could actually sit from home and attend a class, which was again unimaginable 10 years ago, right? So something like that, anything that you guys feel is futuristic, which is not available now, but 10 years down the road, that would become part of our life.
The next like obvious step, now we have found a way to listen and see people from across the world. I guess the next steps would be to kind of go through the other senses, being able to actually be there with people while being also at the same time, across the country or even across the world. Maybe I think it's possible. I'm not sure, but 10 years down the line, it's definitely possible, maybe, with augmented reality, virtual reality, whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the next obvious step in that direction, I guess.
Okay, so by that you mean to say, Pranav, is that after 10 years from now, we all could be in my Zoom call as well as you could be with your parents?
No, it's more like
Okay.
Have you seen Star Wars?
Hmm.
Yeah, those holograms?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so holograms could be there. And maybe there might also be a chance that because there are some things, there are already like suits
Hmm.
which basically allow you to feel things
Hmm.
virtually.
Yeah.
And maybe that's something that could be something that basically everybody gets and in the future. And the technology will advance, and maybe we could be next to each other, we can interact with each other while being like separated, like from far away, something like that. I don't know.
Okay. Anyone else here?
I feel that inclusion of any idea for that matter, we had an idea that, any this is not possible, that is not possible, these things are unimaginable. But I think as we move beyond years, I mean 10 years down the line, if I may say, then inclusion of any ideas which might feel or which might be impossible to implement, I think those would be made possible in some or the other way, because we've seen the impossible being possible. We've seen an entire world shifting from physical to virtual for almost 2 years. And I think anything of that matter, any ideas would be included, would be accepted. And I mean, I'm seeing, in fact, talking to my friends right now, and my friends, my classmates, they all feel that we are at a point where we have grown beyond careers. We are not choosing mainstream careers as an option, or we are not choosing mainstream subjects as an option. We are looking at a wide variety of white collar jobs, blue collar jobs, there are yellow collar jobs, which Arav introduced me to. So I think these kind of things would really make a big difference on how we are perceiving society and how inclusion is happening at a constant rate, where ideas are always welcome. So I think that's going to be somewhat the future. I really hope that it's like that.
Yeah.
I think like RV vans will become very common. Like school buses will be RV vans. That would be so cool.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Like you'll have a bed inside your school bus. Like,
Wow.
that's
Okay.
I think like the
Anyone else?
whole idea of like accessibility would be more
Hmm.
common to us. Like we'd probably go back instead of going into the future, but in a futuristic sense, if that makes sense. Like we would go into the state where we would actually want to interact with people more, and because we have faced what it feels like to be distanced, and I don't think that it's human nature to actually be distanced for a very long time. So even with like a lot of technology, I think we would want to go back to how free the world used to be, and how we could just meet anyone at any point and actually try to develop that further. So in case there are some things that are not accessible accessible to us at the moment, and we just keep saying it that this is not possible. Like, I can't attend college from here. But I think those kind of things, that kind of accessibility would be a little bit more standardized and faster and more efficient that way, in some ways that we cannot imagine at the moment. But I think with the development in technology and some science, we would be able to figure it out.
Okay. So advancement in technology, science is what you all see playing an important role in our future.
Yeah.
So that was my conversation with this lovely group of six. I am taking a break and also giving you all a break to absorb all those things that they said. They had some interesting perspectives on the topic that we touched upon. So hold your breath for part two, where we continue our discussion on what future holds for us. How is climate change affecting us? And some funny details on their moms and dads. See you next Sunday for part two of the Gen Z special. Until then, look up at Sunny Side Up.